All right, so our next class, let's skip ahead. Our last lecture is on Monday, the 1st. And that's the same last lecture that it is for every single Web3 class, is where y'all get to design the UX certificate. I break you up into breakout rooms. And I'm telling you early because I want you to start thinking about this, because normally it's a 2 hour plus activity, and y'all really just go off on it. I give you large sheets of paper, and it gets a little bit combative because everybody thinks like, how many times have you had a class? You're like, if this was my class, I'd do it this way. So I go, all right, here you go. Here's your opportunity. And this isn't a pointless exercise either. A lot of the stuff we consider, and as faculty, we discuss it quite a bit. And one of the ones that, that it has come up in the past is like, what do we think about splitting their certificate in half, having a web track and UX track? And it's a discussion that we have, and that we're still having about the pros and cons of that. And, some of that came out of class. Some of that really came out of the first group and the second group. And you'll all be the third group to have completed this. So I'm telling you now because I want you to start thinking about these things. Like, how should it look? How many classes should there be? What should be taught in these classes? And it's a lot harder than you think, because you're going to be, I'm letting you know right now, you're going to be arguing with your classmates, right? And you're going to have to be able to defend your stance. All right, so I'm saying all this while you go ahead and get logged into Framer. Even if you don't get logged into Framer today, I'm going to set a timer and make sure that we get out on time. All right, Colin, why are we doing Framer? I thought ProtoPie was good enough. One, right? ProtoPie is great. A lot of visual stuff, not really tied into code. And we'll talk about what the benefit of that is. The other thing about ProtoPie is there's no free account, right? Kind of, sort of, right? You're getting something through me, right? Through your Eastern account, and eventually that's going to expire. Framer had no free account, no free plan for a long time. It was Framer, then Framer X, or Framer. It had a number, then became Framer X, and then now it became Framer Web. And when I went out of beta, I was like, wait, this is available for students now. So before, I was always like pleading, like, can I get a student plan? Can we get an educational plan? And they're like, no, we don't offer that. And they still don't offer it, because now they actually have a free plan, which is up to 3 projects. So I don't give I would curse if my children weren't in the room. I don't care what tool you use. I really want us to get to this idea of how do we get to higher fidelity, right? And since we've been prototyping in this program, I'm like, that's not good enough. No, that's not good enough. It's a screenshot stitched together. Here is a picture of Google Maps, right? So the thing you should write down right now is prototypes show. They show. If you can't show it, you're just talking about it. And anytime I see designers standing around explaining their quote unquote prototype or their app or their website or their product to not just another designer, but especially to the client or the end user, I'm like, that's a failure. If you have to stand there and go, well, that is a picture of a map, and if you touch it, the map moves. As soon as you have to start explaining your prototype, it's done. It's DONE, done. Right? And what we're trying to get to eventually, right, is we're going to have a well and a good enough tool so we can actually build these things, right? So someone can actually see it and be demonstrated with it. All that said, all right, that's enough, right? Let's get to high fidelity. All right, go ahead and get logged into Framer. You should already have that. And all we're going to do is walk through the first tutorial. We're going to do it really, really fast. Okay, and make sure that you understand just kind of some of the tutorials. Then I'm going to show you some of the examples that they created and what you can do with them and stuff that you just can't do with any other tools. Does this get rid of Figma? No, because Figma didn't get rid of Photoshop. We still make stuff in Photoshop and Illustrator and bring it into Figma, right? Same thing with Sketch. There is no one tool to do it all, right? The same reason why you have Photoshop and Illustrator, right? They all serve a different role. Okay, so you can import your stuff in from Figma and from Sketch and from Adobe XD into Framer and into Protopie, right? And this might seem like an add-on, but I'm really excited about this. And if I wasn't showing you this, I would be doing you a disservice, right? I really would be doing you a disservice. So get excited about the fact that this there's a free plan for this now, right? This is it's about 140 bucks a year prior to all this, and now you have a free plan where you can try it out. All right, heads up, still buggy, still a little bit buggy. I missed the desktop app. Oh, also for a long time, this was Mac only. That's the other reason I didn't teach it. It was Mac only, right? And I would make prototypes, but I can export it out to all these different platforms. But now it's on the web that we can all have access to it. Okay, let's go ahead, and he should be on your dashboard. Okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna be quick about this. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here under tutorials. Okay, so you have your dashboard up here somewhere. Let's see here, all, right? You can skip that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and prototype an interaction with swipe interaction. I'm gonna play the video. Okay, we're gonna just briefly walk through it so we can get just some idea of what we can do with this. Okay, and all right, so everybody should have something new. We should call this thing test, check, whatever you want to call it. Okay. All right, they go kind of fast in the video, so I'll be rewinding and slowing it down. But I just want to get our feet wet with a new prototyping tool. UXtools.co. Why are you still talking, Colin? Why aren't we doing something? Because I want to make sure everybody gets set up here. Also, look at all these different prototyping tools. Okay, I tweeted out that I think this is going to, where is Swift UI? Oh, Swift UI isn't even on here. But take a look at all these different ones. Man, there's a lot of them nowadays. It's a wealth of riches. Okay, what's my money on for the prototyping tool of the future? Swift UI. Why am I pausing? Because you primarily work with it in code. You actually build out your prototypes. You're not designing a prototype. You're actually building as close to real as possible. Okay. But again, be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention these things. All right, we're working on, right? Look, it's so new. Like, it's not even on here. This is how new it is. See, FramerX was 144. It was Mac only for a long time. I was like, this was the best prototyping tool. Now we have Framer Web. All right, so we're into this thing. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, can you hear the audio?
No.
All right, let's fix this. All right.
In this video, I'm going to walk you through creating your first prototype. It's going to be this one here, where we can use a toggle switch to move between a light mode and a dark mode. We should be able to get through this tutorial in about 5 minutes. But to make things easier, I've split the video up into a number of different steps. For each step, I'll show you what to do, and then the video will pause so that you can complete the step yourself. In fact, why don't we give that a try now? I'll pause, and then you can click continue to keep going.
It's a good walkthrough.
And okay, welcome back. Now that we know how the video works, let's get started on our prototype's first screen. On the toolbar, click on the Frame tool, and then on the Properties panel, click on iPhone 11. Go ahead and try that out.
Let's go ahead and click on the Frame tool, or F. Let's pick iPhone 11. Good from over here. So I'm gonna do that one more time. Click on the Frame tool. We're gonna select this frame. Let's take the first one right there. It's the one we're looking for. Good. All right. Let me know you're there. All right. All right. All right. Rhiannon's going to be our marker today. Rhiannon, you're marking us.
So what we've just made is called a device frame. It's a frame on the canvas with the dimensions of a particular device's screen, in our case an iPhone 11 screen. This switch is going to be made up of frames too. One frame for its background, and another frame for its knob. Let's make that background first.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm playing the wrong one. We're in the wrong tutorial here. All right, so I clicked on the wrong one. Let's start over. Go ahead and just close that one up. All right, new one. We're under the swipe interaction. So just go ahead and hit new project, or just delete your existing frame. All right, this is the one we're looking for. Yeah, this is the one we're looking for.
Now,
Okay.
Hey, I'm Jordan, Senior Product Specialist at Framer. In this quick tutorial, we'll learn how we can use the Page tool combined with Magic Motion to create a nice interactive prototype. The prototype you see here should take us roughly 5 minutes to complete.
FYI, Magic Motion is their separate animation library.
The video is broken down into small steps, so it's super easy to follow along. In each step, I'll show you what to do, and then the video will pause. Then you can give it a go and play the next step when you're ready. The video will pause now, and you can click play when you're ready to start. Hey, welcome back. To start, let's select the Frame tool and choose iPhone 11 from the presets on the right. Then select the Frame tool one more time. Draw a square frame to the right of the iPhone frame. Make sure to hold down Shift while dragging, and let's make it about 300 by 300. Next, we'll want to change the fill color of our frame. You can pick any color, but I know my hex colors by heart. This one is 09F. We'll also want to change the radius, so...
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Frame, this is going to be our main application right here. And we're going to make a separate frame next to it. And I'm just going to go ahead and make something. And you can make, I'm going to type in the dimensions because it's so much easier. Just type it in 300 by 300. Go ahead and give it a fill color. Let's make this easy. Let's just use some name colors. Red. All right, good. Rhiannon? Good. All right, we there? All right, so we have our main frame. We have an unnamed frame, okay, that is just smaller, right, outside of the main application. And so the main application, this frame, we've made it 300 by 300. We've given it a fill color of red.
So set that to 20. Your setup should look something like this. Next, we need to add text to this frame. Select the text tool and click in the middle of the frame on the right. Type the number 1 and then click outside the area. Let's change the text color to white. Set the text style to extra bold and increase the text size to 64. The last thing this frame needs is a name. Select the frame and double click it in the layer panel on the left. Name it Page 1. All right, now it's your turn.
All right, so all they're doing right now is showing off the UI. That's really all they're doing. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do that same thing. We're gonna select the separate frame, okay, the colored frame. All right, let's gonna go ahead and add the text property. Again, they're just showing off the UI at this point. Okay, and we're gonna paste it right into there. So we're putting a text frame inside of the colored red frame or whatever color that you picked there. And then they're just saying, you know, make it as big or as small as you want. I'm gonna make mine 128. Okay, you can pick any font and color you like for your frame. Okay, so basically just put a visible number 1 on inside of this unnamed frame. And we're gonna go into the actual frame name itself and give it a name of Page 1. Okay. Check, check. All right, so just a heads up on this part. Falling behind, we're gonna do this 3 times or 2 more times to get 3 pages. Okay, so if you wanna work ahead, you can make these.
Next up, select the Page tool and add it to our iPhone frame. Start at the bottom and aim for a height of 710 pixels. Make sure it's the full width of the iPhone frame too. Now, click the connector on the right side and drag the connector to our Page 1 frame. Now they're connected. Let's create and connect 2 more.
All right, so let's go and do that. We're gonna have another, all right, we're gonna have another feature here called the Page tool. Yeah, this is basically where the visible content is gonna be, right? So we've looked at frame, right? We're gonna ignore stack for this tutorial. We've looked at the text component. We're gonna ignore scroll. We're gonna make page, right? And this can be about 2/3 or whatever size of this visible application that you want it to be. Okay, so once we have that page drawn, we're going to connect it to the actual page 1. Right, so come right into here with the triple dot, the vertical triple dot, and go ahead and connect it to that page like so. Right, and there we go. Right, the page is inside of there. Okay. All right, do I need to speed up, slow down? Talk to me.
I think probably speed up, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Duplicate the page 1 frame by pressing the Option or Alt key while you click and drag the page 1 frame. Let's give it a different fill color. I'll go with hex value 63F. Then edit the text layer to say 2, and change the name of the frame to page 2. Awesome. Let's do that one more time. Duplicate page 2. Change the fill color. I'll use hex FB0. Change the text to 3. And set the frame name to page 3. Now, we just need to connect up these new pages. Select the page frame and use the connector on the right to connect them. Okay, now you give it a go.
All right, same thing, be faster. Go ahead and select page 1. Select well, it will be a component, but I'm just going to call it this layered stack there. All right, and I'm gonna make this thing green. I'm just gonna type in green RGB because I love RGB. Double click on that text layer, make it 2. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Okay, make sure that you have page 2 selected and actually name it page 2. And wash, rinse, and repeat. Some of you have already done this. I've been asked to speed up. Going as fast as I can, Randy. Just kidding. All right, blue, blue there, 3, and this is gonna be page 3. And then all we need to do is connect these components, the same prototyping UI, the same prototype patterns that we've used before. We're gonna connect our actual application here, this page component, or it's already connected to 1. Then we're gonna connect it to 2 and connect it to, I wanna make it bigger there. I'm gonna connect it to 3 there. All right, that's where we should be with this right now, okay? And in the, if you haven't already noticed, go ahead and select on the iPhone 11, okay? That's where the actual app is. Let's no longer call it iPhone 11. Let's just call it what it is. This is the APP, and that's the actual app. Okay, this is our actual scroll app, okay? So we have these components outside of our app. Okay, notice they're siblings here. They're outside of the application. If you go to the top right corner or from the menu somewhere, go ahead and hit preview. And you can see on my screen here that you can begin to actually preview this. You're already having these scroll motions. So good there. So you can get an initial idea. So already, like, this is, I know there's some prototyping tools that mimic this, right? And I'm going to show you why this isn't mimicking. This is a actual working prototype. I'll show you that as soon as we're done with this.
Now we'll adjust how content is displayed inside of the page frame. With the page frame selected, find the padding property on the right. Change it to 40 to give the content a bit of space. And set the gap to 10 so there's space in between each piece of content. Next, select the iPhone frame. And preview the prototype by clicking the icon in the upper right. Swipe between the pages, making sure it works like this. Okay, now you give it a try.
All right, so let's go into our app. Then we can go find the page layer inside of our app. What do they want us to do here? Go to the properties, under the page properties to the far right. I'm gonna look for the padding, which is around gap. Give it any gap size you want. 40 is good. I'm gonna give it a gap of, I'm gonna give mine a gap of 15 instead of 10. And I didn't have a border radius on mine because I don't want it. I want it to be flat, but you can see it look like this, okay? All right, good. With me. Actually, now that I think about it, border radius would actually look kind of nice. Border, where'd that border radius go? Right up here. There. All right. That shrunk all the cards. All right. Yeah. Put that back. All right.
Now we'll set up an interaction with the Magic Motion transition. Add a frame for page 1 to transition to, again selecting iPhone 11. Set the fill color to be the same as the page 1 frame. Then, copy and paste the page 1 text layer into the new frame. Make sure the text is nice and centered and set its size to 128. Next, change its name to page 1. By matching the other frame name, we can inform Magic Motion transitions to smoothly animate between the frames. Then, click the prototyping connector on the page content and connect it to the new frame. This creates a tap interaction with a Magic Motion transition by default. Okay, set that up.
All right, so what's happening right here is we're gonna be able to, right, not only just scroll through some of these. Oh, I want that back. Don't. Sorry. Some of the UI, I'm not demoing the frame, I'm demoing the app, so I hit the wrong button. All right, so what we want to do with this is basically when we tap in our prototype, tap on the 2, page 2 will pop up and page 1 will pop up, okay? And so this part goes a little bit quickly, so I'm going to rewind it. Sorry, Randy, I'm going to have to rewind this here.
Next, open the frame. Make sure that it's iPhone 11. Set up an interaction with the Magic Motion transition. Add a frame for page 1 to transition to, again selecting iPhone 11. Set the fill color to be the same as the page 1 frame. Then, copy and paste the page 1 text layer into the new frame. Make sure the text is nice and centered and set its size to 128. Next, change its name to page 1. By matching the other frame name, we can inform Magic Motion transitions to smoothly animate between the frames. Then, click the prototyping connector on the page content and connect it to the new frame. This creates a tap interaction with a Magic Motion transition by default. Okay, set that up.
All right, let's go ahead and do that frame. I'll close up the prototype here. All right, they don't have the hand yet, just you're all aware. I was like, put the hand back in. But you hit spacebar and pan around. The hand isn't there yet, the little grippy hand. All right, frame. I'm gonna make a new frame, gonna match that current. Let's go ahead and set, also notice how buggy that is. Okay, see how it's still, all right, you guys are basically getting, technically it's still in beta, but it's a public beta. All right, so iPhone 11 again, I'm gonna call this thing page 1. Beta, I did say beta. All right, he wants to know why I said beta. All right, so we have a new frame called page 1, which is going to reference the page 1 component. That beta, he is holding a book that says beta. Okay.
Is it this book that you're talking about?
All right, I think the class wants to move forward, son, so you're going to have to go. All right, red. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and copy that text layer and put it into here. And just so you know, this is the, let's call it, I'm going to go P1, just so you know that this is the page that is zoomed in on the 1. All right. And then we're going to go select where page 1 is going to connect to. And if you can see the lines here, I'm going to zoom in. I don't know if what you see on your end, but we're connecting this component with a little lightning bolt to this page. So when we tap on this, it's going to show. All right, we can try that out. So we're going to select our app and we're going to preview our app. And now if we tap on 1, there we go. Okay, and this is part of the default transition. So already, right, we're seeing that, hey, where is my back button, right? And so many prototypes, I cannot tell you how many Figma and Sketch prototypes. I'm like, well, how do I go back button? This is what the designer says to me. What did the designer say to me? I want to go back. I want to go back to the home screen. What did they tell me? Hit the back button on your browser, right? Your users don't want to hit, like people testing your applications, right? Don't want to hit the back button on the browser. Just because they're looking at it in a browser doesn't mean they should hit the back button on the browser, right? Jared Spool, if you hit the back button on your browser, you've lost the user. Right? We want to keep them inside. That means they've lost the scent, they've lost the smell, they've lost their navigation. Okay, and that's what we're going to do next. We're going to add that in. All right, I'm going to go off on a lecture about Jared Spool and the loss of scent. Danielle, were you going to say something?
Nope.
Right.
I'm good.
All right. So again, we tap on this, can't go anywhere. All right, just a heads up, we're going to repeat all this for all 3. So if you got this, go move forward.
Hey, I'm Jordan, Senior Product Specialist. Find the icon set component. Magic Motion transition by default. Okay, to smoothly animate between the frames. Then click the prototyping connector on the page content and connect it to the new frame. This creates a tap interaction with a Magic Motion transition by default. Okay, set that up. Next, open the Insert menu, press the I key or click Insert in the top toolbar. Search for Icon to find the Icon Set component. Then, click and drag to insert the component into your frame. Change its color to white, and select the arrow left circle icon. Move it to the upper left corner, and then add an interaction to it. At the top of the Properties panel on the right, click on Interactions, select Click, then Transition Back. This will add a reverse transition back to the previous frame. Let's try it out. Select the iPhone 11 home frame, and then click Preview in the upper right. You can still swipe, but now if you click Page 1, it transitions to the new frame and back using Magic Motion. Now, back to you.
All right, so inside there, again, they're showing off their UI. Let's go ahead and select page 1. We're going to click on Insert. Again, UI. We're going to look for, what is it, icons, what do they say? All right. Icons, right, icon set, excuse me, the default icon set. Okay, it's going to give you the default frame icon. Let's go ahead and I'm laughing because that shouldn't be the default. Your own logo shouldn't be the default, but it's a different class. All right, default components, icon set, go ahead and insert that. And once we have the Figma logo, you can go ahead and just make it white, and then you can change the size. And then right here under icon, scroll all the way up to the top. So again, we have the icon selected. We're going to go to the type of icon that we want. Scroll all the way to the top to arrow left. Yeah. Right. And then we're going to tap on, oops. Oh, interactions. I forgot already. All right, so we have the arrow left selected. Interactions, going to do a click, and we're going to transition back. Yeah. So what we're looking here is some of the default ones, and the Magic Motion library has so many that you can make your own and fork and customize. The animation library, it's separate from the animations. That is a huge thing, right? Just like material design, like Google's design system. Like, no, the animations are a separate component. I mean, it's a separate library, right? So libraries, right? Design systems have multiple libraries. You have a library for the icons, you have a library for animation, you have a library for typography. Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and transition that back. And on click, right? And we just go back to previous. All right, tap that out. Go ahead and select your app, hit play, try it out, click on that, tap on that, it goes, click on the one, goes back, click on the one, it goes to P1, tap the back. All right, good there? With me?
Let's make 2 more. Right-click and select Duplicate on the large page 1 frame. Change the fill color to match page 2. And delete the existing text layer. Replace it by copying and pasting the text layer from the page 2 frame. Make sure it's centered and its size is set to 128. And don't forget to change its name to be page 2 to match the other frame. Finally, click the prototyping connector on the page 2 content frame and connect it to this new frame. Now repeat this duplicate process one more time. Change the fill color, remove the text layer, replace it by copying and pasting the text layer from page 3, center the text and set the size to 128, rename it to page 3 to match the other frame, and connect the page 3 content frame to this new frame. This is super close to being complete. Let's preview the iPhone 11 home frame to see where you'll be at the end of this step. After that, it's just a few finishing touches and you're good to go. So the prototype should swipe between all pages, and a click interaction will transition to the larger view and back using Magic Motion. All right, you got this.
All right, let's go ahead and select page 1, the zoomed in page, or in this case, P1. Okay, the P1 page, or the linked content. Okay. So select the linked content page, right? In my case is P1 because I wanted to make that distinction. I'm gonna close up that. And then right click, duplicate. And I'm just gonna double click on this and change it to P2. And then I'm gonna click on the actual duplicated, like the copied, right? And change it to P2. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just type in RGB. So next is green. All right, wash, rinse, and repeat. Take P2, duplicate it, rename it to page 3 for the frame. Okay. And the naming convention is theirs. And then we're just going to double click on the content. You don't need to copy and paste content all over again. Select the actual frame itself. In this case, P3, click and the fill color RGB blue. Right, I forgot what blue stood for. All right, then once we have all the separate components, we can find the green linking component, right, the component that actually links this thing up. Okay, I know they're not components right now, but they will be in future applications. All right. So there's that, and then we're going to select 3, the lightning bolt, and drag it to 3. Okay. Adobe XD popularized this digitally. Like before, it was. I think Adobe XD's implementation of this early on was the right one, and I'm glad that other apps have started using that. So it wasn't always like this in Figma. Actually, there was a time Figma didn't have prototyping, so early on.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Sorry, we should try this thing out. All right, so we're going to select our app. And hit play on the app. Okay. Try to make it big enough so you can see. There's 1, go back, swipe over, 2. All right, go back, good. 3, go back. All right, thumbs, let me know that you're there. Is this working for you? Okay, anybody else? Yay, all right.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So when you make page 2 and 3 bigger, the text box comes in from the previous page. I'm guessing it's because we didn't copy and paste.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want it to just morph from the other page, you need to copy and paste it, correct?
Yeah, you want those properties. So.
Okay.
I'm being a little bit impatient, sorry. I should be more patient.
Copy and paste the text layer from page 1 into the iPhone 11 home frame. Move it up towards the top and change its color to hex value 333. Set its size to 40. Give your prototype a name and position it into place. Now search for a device in the Insert menu. Press the I key or click Insert in the toolbar. Once you've found it, click Insert. Position it onto your canvas and make sure iPhone 11 Pro Max is selected. Then connect the device to the iPhone 11 home frame. All right, let's bring this home. Now, all we have to do is preview it. This device component will help to get a feel for how everything will come together and is great for presentations. So that's it for this tutorial. You made it.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Select your app. On your app, you're going to make a new frame. Sorry, a new text layer. Let's go ahead and get out of my demo there. Select your app. Go ahead and select the text layer. You can draw in text layer, or you can take their advice and just copy it. I'd rather just make a new text layer here. And it's really, really big, so I'm going to make it not so big. 28, and it's white on white. So it's just styling at this point. Swipe, what was the name of this app? What did they call it? Swipe. Wow, this and Zoom is not going, is like slowing down my computer here. Swipey. Here, we're gonna have it be 2 E's. All right, that's the name of my app. And then we're gonna go into the Insert menu, right? And add in device. Again, click on the Insert menu. This is basically like their plugin manager. Package manager, excuse me. This device. Go ahead and click on Insert, and we're gonna take the Pro Max because they want to take this and fit it to take the prototype and fit it to the mock-up. Click on Pro Max and just connect the frames together. And you're going to preview the device. Okay, not the app. Hit preview on this, and there you go. Swipey, no swipey. Okay. Is it swiper, no swipey? All right, my children are correcting me. All right, so now that you have this, okay, what's nice is this little icon right here. Go ahead and click on open in mobile. You're gonna get a QR code, take out your device, okay? And this is what you can share with your team. There's no like download this app, download the Envision app, download the Marvell app, download the Principal app, you know. Right. And you can quickly begin to iterate on this, right, and see that this is working. Okay, so let me turn off my screen sharing here so you can see what's happening here. All right, you see swiper, no swipey. Okay. All right. So it's taking that same thing that Figma has popularized, and what Figma is really good at is it should be platform and device independent, and Figma has done that very, very well, and multiple people should be able to collaborate on this. And I'm glad that all of the competitors are stealing from each other. Like, I'm glad that everybody's taking the best of each prototyping tool. But y'all, we are in a time right now where all of these tools are still relatively new. I can't stress that enough. These are not advanced tools. Yeah. And I'm sorry, these are not mature tools yet. Right? We have mature image editing tools, right? Pixelmator is mature, Eggcorn is mature, Photoshop is mature, right? Like that space is really mature. And these are all relatively new tools, and it's going to be interesting to see in 5-10 years, you know, how we're going to be doing all of this with code, right? Right, but for right now, right, these are some of the tools we have. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I get nothing from Framer out of this, right? Other than, you know, I give them money. So now it's nice. I can give them a little bit less money every year. What we're gonna do right now is take a look at some of the other Framer features. But before I do that, so check. Okay. Before I do that, any reactions, questions so far? Okay. If more is similar about this than there is different, then that's good, right? You should be able to pick up a lot of these. All right, I'm gonna go back to the dashboard and take a look at some of these other tools. All right, I was messing around with this example right here, right? Slow clap coming up. Yeah, right. Well, why is this working? Well, this is simple. This is no different than our, right, using real data. And this is one of the things that the more advanced tools had for a very long time. They could pull in JSON. Okay? They could pull in. So where does all this data come from? Well, we have this component, right? And then there's the instance of this. And it's basically just pulling from this spreadsheet right here. Here is this Google Sheet. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in on this. Right, it's got our names and our colors. I added Sam to this, but the internet is being slow and it's not updating. But let's say Sam's favorite color is gray. Okay, right. And then once this thing updates, you'll see here, we have too many of these open, right? That so this is the component that is pulling in this Google Sheet, right? And what's nice is this isn't an add-on. Like, these things are built in. Okay. All right, so this is woohoo, right? That, yeah, Colin, we can do that on like in Sketch. We can do that long before on Sketch for a very long time. Yeah, I know. But now it's default. You don't have to do it as an add-on, and Sketch didn't make it a default thing. Right, I'm gonna save the best for last. And if you're in Web3, you're gonna feel vindicated, and if you're not in Web3, you're gonna feel less vindicated. All right. So those are sheets, right? Next one I want to show you is sounds. Okay. What I did was I went through and I kind of messed with all of their tutorials and their examples. I'm like, what can I do with this thing? All right. So let's say, you know, in Web3, we've been trying to make this soundboard, right, for a very long time. And make sure that you can actually hear this. All right, we've been trying to make this, we're making this soundboard. I'm gonna finish it soon here. Right. we can't do that with the other ones without hacking at it. Like you can write an extension into Figma. You can make an extension for Sketch. You can find a plugin that can add in sounds, but it's not part of the default library. What's nice is you can upload your own sounds and you can change that sounds, right? And applications have sound, right? Sound design is a class for a reason. Sound design is a separate class for a reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and select on any one of these components here. And I'm gonna change the sounds. And these are the default ones. And of course you can always upload your own, right? And then we just quickly play this application here. Where's main? And play this, and it's different now, right? It's making this pop sound instead, okay? And so this is that getting closer to real, right? I'm going somewhere with this, right? Each of these examples, I'm getting to closer and closer to real. We're getting real data. We're getting real sounds, right? We're getting real devices because I don't have to install this fake browser, right? That's one of my gripes about Marvell. It's like install the Marvell app, install the Envision app. I just want to see the stinking prototype. Why do I have to install an application to see your prototype? Right? And this is what your users are saying. This is what the people who are paying you to make these things. It's like, why are we creating all these barriers to do this? Okay. The worst thing is don't have someone come to my desk. No, come to my desk. Send me the thing that we want to sell. Send me the product. Right? Get as close to real as possible. I'm going to keep repeating that till we get to the end of class here. All right, so there's sounds. The other example I thought was really, really neat here. Where is that to-do list? Oh, I had it up. All right, so you can take a look at this, just the demo here, but right, code out like it's internet slow. You have a full-on working to-do list, right? Instead of just stitching these screens together, like we can actually like make this to-do list thing that actually works. Yeah, that adds to-do lists that someone can input data from. All right, light counter was the other one that I thought was whoa. Okay, all right. So what we're getting into is what I'm going to be ending with, right? And the last one here is the to-do. Where's my light counter? Oh, cover flow was nice. I'm just going to show you this one real fast. Right. And some of the prototyping applications I've looked at just mimic this, right? They give you a cover flow component and you're basically just moving your screenshots. This isn't a cover flow component. This isn't basically a movie. This isn't an animated GIF. Like this is, right? And so many prototyping tools, like we're going to take a screenshot of your movie and just put it into here. Like this thing's actually moving and taking the position of what would be a finger. Okay. So that was cool. And the last one I want to show you, Colin, get off your soapbox. You're selling past the close. Stop talking to yourself. Oh, like counter. Where's my like counter? I just archived it. I'll find it real fast. All right. The other tutorial that we're not going to have to do is they actually walk you through. They recreate the Instagram Stories UI. Like that's a complicated UI that YouTube just flat out stole. YouTube stole their UI and to do Instagram stories, and because it's a good UI, right? Now try mocking that up. Go into Figma or Sketch and try to mock that up, and it's have fun, right? Because you're going to be explaining, well, this fades in, and this fades out, and this thing moves, and it's like, well, how do you do that? And so, you know, with a tool like Framer, right, and Swift UI, like you can actually make those things. And what's nice about this is actually storing this data. Every time I'm tapping, I'm getting a like. And if I wanted to make a dislike button, right? All right, so right over here, there's a code layer. Slow clap coming up. Because all this stuff, if I take this like, this is that bridge. This is React. This is a React component. Copy, paste, go. Go make your stinking React app. This is a React component. All its glory. Right? It's importing the Framer library. It's like let's go make this thing as real as possible. Let's actually store some data. And what we're trying to do here, right, is say, how can I make the most realistic thing possible, right? How do I convey my ideas? Because this isn't like a completed application. This is about, we're trying to get to as close to real as possible, okay? Because sometimes your completed application, if this is going to be for iOS, right, that's what the developers take on. Like, I got to go learn Objective-C or Swift, right? If it's going to be for Android, then I have to go learn the Java SDK or C#. Right? If it's for the web, I got to go learn the web tools. And that's where people get to branch off, right? If this is going to be for Steam, okay, Steam SDK. What is the Steam SDK? Okay. All right. Y'all know what Steam is? Yes, yes, gamers out there. All right. I had to install it last weekend. I almost went crazy. It was so hard to get Steam set up. I was like, how did people put up with this? Okay. All right. So that's it, right? And I'm hoping that you begin to see, like, look, you're not designing for one thing, you're designing for all of the things. And Framer actually has a way for you to hook this into, well, Framer X did, hook it into a refrigerator. Literally. Like, hey, look, if you got a web browser in your fridge, let's go. Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing there and stop recording now.